Right, so this tutorial will cover the hand setup for the character. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a circle. So I'm just going to go down to my mail command line, type in circle. And I want to snap this to the palm joint of the character. And then I'm just going to scale this down and move this up above the hand so it's easy to grab. I scale it down a little bit more. Alright, and then once I have in place freeze transformations on that, and then once I have that frozen, I want to constrain it to this palm joint so that way it just follows the hand around. So I'm going to grab this palm joint and then shift select the controller second and go to constrain, and I'm just going to add a parent constraint. And the default settings should work fine. So just go ahead and add that. And then I'm just going to name this controller my left finger control curve. Alright, so for this hand setup, there's a number of different ways you can go about setting up a hand. This one we're just going to use a number of attributes and connection editor in order to control the hand. Alright, we could use set driven keys and a combination of both of these together, but this is just a simple hand setup. So let's go ahead and add these attributes. So make sure you select the finger control curve and go to modify, add attribute, and basically we're going to have an attribute that corresponds to each joint in each finger, which will allow us to rotate it depending on what we need. So I'm going to start with the index right here and work my way across, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add all the thumb controls. So I'm just going to worry about these 4 fingers first and then add the attributes for the thumb at the very bottom. So make sure you have that finger control curve selected, and so index, and then this is going to be the curl attribute, and then I'm just going to put 1, or you can put 0, 1 depending on. Right, and then add, and you'll notice that we'll add that over here, and then make this curl 2, index curl 2, and add, and index curl 3, and go ahead and add that. Alright, and then we'll move to the next finger, so the middle curl, right, and add that. Middle curl 2, add that. Middle curl 3, and add that. Now move to the ring, so ring curl 1, add that. Now the end joints, we're going to ignore those, so we don't have to. Let me undo that last one real quick. Try that one more time. There we go. So ring curl 2 and ring curl 3, and then move to the pinky. Add this. Alright, and let me slide this down so it's a little bit easier to see. And then 2 and pinky curl 3. Alright, and before we add the thumb, we want to add a spread attribute so that we can spread the fingers apart. So, and for this setup, we're just going to add it to the first joint of each finger. You could add it to all of them if you really wanted a really cartoony lock control over the fingers. So this one, I'll start with the index again. Index, and this time spread, and then add, and then ring, or sorry, middle, and then spread, and then ring. Oops, try to spell that correctly. ring spread, and then the last one would be pinky, and add that. All right, and then we'll go ahead and add our thumb. So thumb curl 1, 2, 3. Add that. And then we want the thumb spread, and then the thumb is special. It gets a twist on there, although you could add a twist on the other ones as well. So, and then the thumb twist, and go ahead and add that. Alright, so we have all these attributes. Now it's just a matter of connecting them, and for this we're just going to go to Window, General Editors, and we're going to go to the Connection Editor. Alright, and a couple things. I'm going to go to, on the top, I'm going to go Left Display and make sure Show Non-Keyable is unchecked, and same thing for the right side. I'll just help clean up the view a little bit. So all these attributes that we just added are listed right here. So what we want to do is basically joint by joint load it into the right side, load them into the right side, and then connect it to the correct attribute. So real quick, if I jump to my rotate, I know that my curl is going to be on the rotate Z, or yeah, rotate Z, and then the spread attribute is going to be the Y, and then the twist is going to be on the X. All right, so the curl, one more time, curl is on Z, spread is on Y, and rotate X is the twist. All right, so let's start with index curl 1, all right, and that's referring to, all right, this first joint right here. So we want to reload right, open up rotate, and connect that to rotate Z. And while I have this loaded in here, I know that there's a index spread, and then that goes to rotate Y. All right, now I can move to the next joint. Make sure that you reload right. So index curl 2, right, rotate Z, go to the next joint, reload right, index curl 3, rotate Z, right, go to the next finger, reload right. All right, this time middle curl 1, all right, rotate Z, and middle spread, rotate Y. All right, the second one, reload right, right, middle curl 2, rotate Z. Third one, reload right. All right, middle curl 3, rotate Z. All right, go jump to the next finger, the ring. Make sure you reload right. Ring curl 1 goes to rotate Z. Ring spread, rotate Y. All right, then go to the next joint, reload right, and pop this open. And this time, let's see, ring curl 2, rotate Z. Go to that third one, reload right, ring curl 3, rotate Z. And then the pinky, make sure you reload right. So pinky curl 1, rotate Z, and pinky spread, rotate Y. Go to that second joint, reload right, pinky curl 2, rotate Z. Alright, load in the third joint, pinky curl 3, rotate Z. And then the thumb, make sure you reload right. So the thumb, you have thumb curl 1, goes to rotate Z, and then while I have this loaded up, the thumb spread goes to rotate Y, and thumb twist goes to the rotate X. Alright, go to that second thumb joint, reload right. So thumb curl 2, rotate Z. And then the last thumb joint, reload right, and thumb curl 3, rotate Z. And then close. Alright, we can test this out real quick. Alright, so you can grab multiple attributes at the same time, middle mouse click, drag. Alright, so that looks like it's working. I'm going to grab all the curls for the index, middle, ring, and pinky. Alright, so that looks like it's working. And I'll just zero this out real quick. And check the spread attributes. Looks like it's working. Thumb curls. Looks like it's working. That's working. And then the twist. Yep. So everything's working good. That's pretty much it for the finger setup. One last thing that we want to do, I want to clean up these channels. And if you continuing from the arm setup, we'll actually clean up our outliner too as well. So I'm just going to grab, we don't need, for the finger controller, we don't need the translate, rotate, scale at all. So we'll highlight those, right click, lock and hide selected. Right, for the hand controller, right, jump over here. We need the translate and rotate, but we can lock and hide the scale. So lock and hide selected. And the elbow, we only need the translate, so lock and hide, rotate, and scale. Alright, and then the last thing, our outliner. Let's go ahead and clean this up. I'm going to leave the right controllers because I haven't set up that arm yet. And actually, while we're at it, let's go ahead and see if we can mirror this across, if it'll let us. Alright, so that's, I now have a copy of that finger control over here on the other side. I just have to rename it. So let me do that real quick before I forget. Alright, so the left, everything on the left side I'll go ahead and clean up. So I'm going to grab the left finger control curve, the left elbow, left hand, and I'm just going to go to my rig organizer and parent that to the control curves. Go to the left IK, arm IK, parent that to the IKs, and that's pretty much it for right now. Once I set up the right arm, then it'll just be a matter of dropping that stuff under the correct folder, and then all is good. And that's pretty much it for the character setup, the arm setup. And the next step would be to go ahead and bind the character and start painting weights.